What's up, y'all? It's Dr. Paul with Liberty Hill Comics. Wow, we made it. Episode 75 of the Comic Book Conservators live show. Who knew? We are looking forward to the show tonight. We've got a little change up from what we normally do. And I had a great week. How about you guys? I'm joined as ever by my co-hosts, Captain Larry of Flying L Comics and Phantom Phil of Phantom. Is it still Restoration?
Technically, but you know.
That's what it says on the sign right there.
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Good. No, it's I'm just happy to be home and for change.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Hey, everybody, sorry we all missed last week. Different things for different people, but we're here this week.
Yeah. You know, we do what we can.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't but you know, we always have fun.
We do.
Looking very festive, Dr. Paul.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, he's definitely in the Halloween spirit.
When you celebrate Halloween, you go all out. No sense doing it halfway. All Hallows Eve coming up soon. We're looking forward to it. Actually falls on a weekend this year. We usually host a big party and often have to decide, is it the weekend before or after? But this year it's actually on Halloween. So looking forward to that.
Okay.
Nice.
Have not yet run out of costumes for Men Without Hair.
I don't know what that's like.
I have not had to go back and recycle any of them yet. We asked AI, though, for some fun ideas because I wasn't going to wear a wig or something, a toupee or whatever. And they were pretty entertaining. One of them was go as Bald Ken and Barbie. And I just don't know who came up with that. I don't know if that's one of those hallucinations or what. But,
well, you could be Ken. I mean,
I'm sure I could pull.
It's a stretch.
Bald Ken.
Okay. Bald Ken, yeah.
And the wife has to get one of those bald wigs, right? It doesn't make any sense. What?
Well, is she going to go as bullshit Barbie, or what is she going to
do? You went there, folks.
I went there. Yes, I did.
There were already oblique references to the toupee, and now there's bullshit Barbie. You plucked my last nerve. Hit us with the super chat. Thank you so much. Speaking of,
hey, cool. Thank you.
He is one of the sponsors of this show. If you're watching this live, you're watching it ad-free. Thanks to these gentlemen, Sales Boy Comics, You Plucked My Last Nerve, and Don Carter. So much appreciation. Really got already 20 people in the chat and looking forward to a fun show. So let's get some of this.
Your brother's here.
Out of the way. Did he say hi?
No.
Yeah. Rom Space Knight's here as always. Thank you for joining us. You Plucked My Last Nerve. Don Carter, our sponsors.
You should go as the Vulture.
I don't have the nose for it. Morris Devereaux and Silver Spidey, Rick Gomez, the Professor. We should talk about his recent projects on his channel. JCP, AG, Archivist Drift. Let's definitely talk about the projects on his channel. Mr. Clean. Ding, 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 ding. It's going to be Mr. Clean this year.
Nice.
Yeah. Last year it was Jean-Luc Picard, and the year before that it was Uncle Fester.
Who's the guy that used to float around inside the toilet tank on a little teeny boat? Who is that?
On a boat?
I mean, remember those commercials?
There's the scrubbing bubbles.
That's going back too far.
They were bald, but they had mustaches. Right?
No, I remember that. There's a bald dude who's like Mr. Clean, but he's inside the toilet tank.
I do not know about that.
Well, I'm probably dating myself anyway.
Patel Philippe, almost like Patek Philippe. Dr. Paul, your best bet is to go as the Vulture. That wouldn't be too bad. Big Jim than Ken. Keg stand. Dr. Paul used to rule at the keg stand. Well, it did happen, but it was supposed to stay in undergrad. Mr. Hanky, I'm not sure who that is. Now we're just getting all of them.
You don't watch South Park, Mr. Hanky.
No, I don't watch.
Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poo.
I've seen it. I'm aware of it, but I don't.
He's a jolly character.
Yes, he is.
Professor. I mean, I feel like this is a compliment. And Mr. Clean is like jacked, man.
Yeah, he is jacked. That's true.
Yeah, a fellow watch collector here. Awesome. Welcome. Silver Spidey. Welcome, everyone. Well,
we're missing Dylan. He's not here. Well, yeah, he sent me some swag.
Look at you.
I'm wearing his swag tonight, and he's not even here.
Well, when he shows up, we'll thank him. Captain Stubing.
Yeah, that's it.
And I always thought of myself more as like an Isaac type character, but Dr. Paul, if you like watches, I stream often with Archie Luxury, the original. Not sure if you know him. Yes, the original watch YouTuber. I will just respond to that by saying I am mid-management at best, Patel, and I'm sure you'll know exactly what is meant by that. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm gonna get Mike's joke in here, Captain of the Tugboat. But then we're going to get on with business. I swear to it. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight, we have our A segment, which is a conserved comic book, which we often do. And it's going to be what our conserved comic book's worth. And it's a Silver Age Grail that I'm excited to talk about. We visited this comic back in like episode 43. And that was a lower grade conserved book. And the timing of that coincided with Born Again dropping. And it was fun to feature then. So I thought it's been a while. We'll revisit it. And then we're going to do pickups. From time to time, we buy books that are essentially project books or books that are potential projects anyway. Sometimes we put them on the shelf for a while. Sometimes we crack them immediately. I have some slabs that I'm going to share that my long-term plans are for cracking, but a few of them are recent pickups, and I think that should be fun. And so we're going to go around. I have something to do, so we're going to try to keep the show to about an hour tonight. So I think that's a good time.
Okay, that's fair.
The viewership starts to peter off a little bit. I know that you hardcore people are still here, but let's see who else checked in. Unbothered Kitty is here. Welcome, Kat. How are you? Glad to see you here. Looking forward to seeing you at
Dylan's finally shown up.
Sales Boy, welcome. Thank
Dylan.
You for sponsoring the episode, and check it out. I got a care box from you. As did the captain. The captain's actually sporting your tee.
Yeah.
All right. So without further ado, let's jump right into this book. Look at this.
That's a nice looking book.
8.5, fellas. 8.5 is no joke for this book.
It's 8.5 conserved.
Turns out it's
tough.
8.5 universal would be top like 6 or 7% in the census. I mean, This book is tough in these kind of grades. So let's jump right into it. We've been through this a few times, but just kind of quickly, Marvel Age chronology, and Phil's got the T for it today. That's for sure. Almost most of these creations, Lee and Kirby, or with the Lee and Ditko creation as well. Ant-Man's actually Larry Lieber, if I'm not mistaken, which is fun. But Marvel Age starts with Fantastic Four, #1 in 1961. Soon after, with Tales to Astonish 27, with Ant-Man kind of prototype, but not really. He's just not a costume superhero yet, but it is Hank Pym. Then The Incredible Hulk, May of 62. These were all, none of these were your traditional superhero. These were all off the beaten path. They did not follow the sort of cultural norms of superhero comics at the time. Lee was not interested in doing that and went in a different direction with all of his collaborators. I know there are people that say he had nothing to do with it. It was all Jack Kirby. I don't personally fall in that camp. I think they were collaborations, as Lee says. Amazing Fantasy 15, August of 62. And I have the CGC census counts here. 2,100 for Fantastic Four 1. Measly 1,000 for Tales to Astonish 27, which is why I think this is kind of the big key sleeper here. But Incredible Hulk 1 is another really tough book, especially in high grade, with only 1,500 in the census. And then it gets a little bit easier if you're a collector of Thor, Iron Man, Doctor Strange. The census counts get up and over 2,000 through 62, 63. The last major first appearances are the X-Men in September of 63, same month, but 2 weeks later than the Avengers. And CGC count on that book is nearing $5,000. And then Daredevil #1, which in many ways, being the last, is also out on its own. Lee here, his collaborator is actually Bill Everett. Bill Everett of Golden Age fame, like the very, very beginning of the Golden Age, as in he created Prince Namor and the Submariner in Marvel Comics #1. The highest of all these books, CGC census count of 5,500, kind of for me wraps up the books I consider grails. Yeah, I know that we get Nick Fury after this, and there's obviously some other things that happen. Some people could put Doctor Doom or the first Goblin in there. I get it, but this is my show and my list, so that's what we're come at me in the chat. Daredevil, for me, I have a near complete collection of Volume 1. I have read all of Volume 1 several times. As I mentioned, this is a Stan and Bill Everett collaboration for the start. I think Daredevil 1 is a masterpiece. It really introduces all the characters. Everything you need to know about the character is right there in #1. Foggy's there. The love interest is there. The drama's there. The pain and suffering that create the hero is there. Everything's there. The yellow and black costume is actually made from his father's fighting costume, the robe and trunks of his father, the boxer, in issue #7. So Everett didn't stay on the book long. Wally Wood is penciling by issue 7, creates the red costume that has stuck ever since. I will be completely frank, having read the whole series, other than issue 1 being a masterpiece, there's really a lot of filler here. It's not until Frank Miller comes along, he starts penciling with issue 158. I believe by 168 he's writing it. He may be writing and penciling before that. In all, he did a 23-issue run that I think transformed the character, made it relevant. At the time, with issue 158, Daredevil was bi-monthly, and they were about to cancel it, which is why he was given such freedom with the title. He comes back in 86 to do Born Again. And between Born Again, a couple follow-on issues, and his original story arc, Miller only does 30 issues of Daredevil, which is pretty incredible for the impact that he had on the character. The Born Again story arc is considered one of the greatest comic books ever written, or comic book story arcs ever written. I happen to share that opinion, though not everybody does. Thoughts? Comments?
I've never read it, fact,
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know it existed. Born Again.
Really?
Yeah, the early Daredevil stuff. I'm definitely there. One of my favorite issues was issue number 8 for Stiltman. I keep
Right.
Oh,
fingers
really early.
crossed, that he's going to show up in Born Again. Then I can go.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah.
Now I can sell all my comics.
Funny you mentioned that particular issue. We started buying comic books when the cover price was 50 cents, and soon thereafter it went to 60. And to find any books with a lower cover price than that was kind of a big deal. And one of the kids that went to my school had Daredevil number 8, the 12 center.
Yeah.
And I was just mesmerized by it. And I ended up trading something to him or giving him my lunch.
I got plenty of them. Anybody needs
Nice. You're like, come on, Stiltman. Come on, Stiltman. Show up.
Come on, Stiltman.
I ended up, maybe I gave him my lunch money for 2 weeks or something, but I ended up with that book. I still have that exact issue that I got from him. It's like a VG. Maybe it's VG plus at best, right?
Well,
but it's all there. It's readable. And I have literally revered it. I just couldn't believe at that age that I was able to acquire a 12-cent. I lived out in the country. There were no cons. There were no comic book shops. Wow. It was a real treasure.
Yeah, that book, when I first read it, I was little. I mean, and Stiltman was a scary character to little kid,
Well, there it is. A little bit of fun history. Daredevil number 1, fair market value. This is the chart for an 8.5. Median, this is the census. Median grade is a 4.5 here. And as we talked about, 5,500 in Gen Pop, and then you have 6,700 all grades or all types. And, almost 600 signature here. A lot of signed books out there. Yeah, it's a lot of Stan Lee signatures, I would imagine, for the most part.
Okay.
At any rate, like I said, it's a great book. The last grail, in my opinion, of the Marvel Age. And I goofed. It is the correct data, but I didn't change the top from 5.5 to 8.5.
Oh.
Here's the fair market value for an 8.5 graphed against time. So you see the glow up there when he gets this Netflix series. That's probably 2013-ish. And then you see the surge over COVID. There's a little bump there for when they dropped Born Again at the sort of back end of the curve. As I mentioned, 8.5 is top 6.2% of the census. I mean, this is a tough book, and anything above an 8, really tough book. Highest ever paid, this is inflation adjusted, but 26,400. In the last year, there have been 2 sold. One went for 10.8, one for 11.7. The 12-month trailing average being 11,250. Go Collect's algorithm says 11 grand for this book in this grade. Universal. Not chump change.
No, not by any means.
But also for this tough a book and important a book, it's back to kind of being affordable, right? Like if you imagine just the upward slope from the original trajectory and you take out the COVID era, we're kind of back to that baseline upward slope, right? So I feel comfortable kind of getting in around this price on this book.
Can I just say something real quick?
Absolutely.
Just based off something that Larry that you said earlier.
What's that?
Highly recommend reading the Miller run, and like we have such easy access to it now, and really it's like,
I know everything. It's
I
all
always
digital
like
now.
to wait for stuff to come out because then you can assess what's proven itself over time, and that's one of the runs.
Yeah, I'd already made the decision to read it just after you guys talking about it just now.
Larry, if you want, I'll be the because I only read it once, maybe 8 years ago, and like I remember it, but I don't remember. Like I haven't probably read it like you have, Dr. Paul, like several times where it's really instilled. But so it's one of those things. It's I'll read it if you read it. Hey,
I'll read it again. Or I'll read it for the first time. You can read it again.
Yeah.
I
I
discovered
kind
it.
of like reading it for the first time again.
I discovered it when there was an explosion of comic book shops in the late 80s, and we were able to start getting back issues. And but if I recall correctly, I definitely bought Born Again off the rack. But his first 23 issues, those were over by the time I started buying comics. So I got them all out of the back issue bins. You know, those arcs were award winning even at the time, and people raved about them. So
I mean, it's like 30,
Just kinda
30 issues. I mean, I pushed reading The Walking Dead on people, but I know that's like just under 200. Even if I'm like, just read the first 48, but 48 is almost 50, and that's a lot. But 30 is like, you know, only,
yeah.
you know, a handful of a dozen. That's much
Oh
more
yeah,
digestible.
no, and it's quick. There's a lot of graphic storytelling. Not as many words, so it's pretty quick too. Yeah, it's worth. I mean, actually, you guys know I'm not a snob in real life.
No.
In real life, but I like to sometimes play one because I think it's funny. And one of the things I used to say, if I met a new collector and I was talking to him, and if they didn't own Miller's run on Daredevil, I would kind of go, "Are you really a comic book collector if you don't own Miller's run on Daredevil?" Obviously, I was joking, but I had fun with it. All right, so here's our book.
Dang.
You guys aren't going to believe this, actually.
I'm sad that I missed seeing when this popped up. This is one that I should have had on my radar. I'm gonna probably be real sad.
You're getting ahead of the punchline. Actually,
well, I mean,
I was going to say exactly that at the end.
I'm regret personified.
So
Let's go.
Here's the CGC. Conservation includes staples replaced. That's it, fellas. Staples replaced. Spine stress lines.
That's kind of
Crease left center of front cover. Nothing else done, or at least nothing else detected by CGC. But once you've replaced the staples, they're probably looking at it with a fine-tooth comb. So it's probably all they've done,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. I guess they didn't put in period staples, or I'm not sure even how they would tell.
We can
staples
speculate.
correctly.
We'll circle back to that, Larry.
There's a few different.
While we look at this beautiful cover, let me check. Let me see.
Well, they would have to be period at least to get the console label. So they would.
Yeah, that's true. I was just thinking about that. It has to be still a period.
They wouldn't look correct to this copy. So there's a marker like staple indents don't match, or the orientation of it doesn't match, or something like
that. I guess Sales Boy sent shirts to a few people because You Pluck My Last Nerve showed up moist. And he dried out before he could wear it.
Nice.
Gorilla Monkey 3K is here. Welcome. David, the Starman is here. Welcome. Good to see you. AG says Frank Miller run are some of the best in comics. I happen to agree.
Yeah.
I would have liked for him to have drawn more. Not that I don't really enjoy his writing, but he doesn't draw all of it, Gorilla Monkey 3K agrees. So, Travis is here. Welcome, Travis. Miller's run is great. Don't sleep on the Brubaker or Wade runs either. That's for sure. I wonder, though, if any of those later runs would have been as great without the angst injected into the character by young Frank Miller. I think Frank Miller was 22 when he took the book over.
Yep, young guy. We're gonna get into this probably, but the short answer is yes, very much so.
Yes. Yeah. David, I'm also way down for Bendis's run. This is Quesada on pencils, right? Great stuff. I mean, there's not a lot to talk about other than this is stunningly beautiful
Sweet.
book.
Yeah,
The
it's-
stuttering too is great. The production cut where you have that right edge. Sometimes it's a little
Yeah.
crooked. Sometimes it doesn't show like there.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's very
that's
straight.
true.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
The Everett influence is obvious, but by this time being the last hero introduced in the Silver Age, really of note, he's trading off of the popularity of Spider-Man and the FF, to try and get the sales up there.
They're like, come on.
Which, really clutters the cover in a way that it didn't need to, in my opinion, but otherwise excellent. I mean, the back is
I
similar.
think he's so large, in my opinion, just like Iron Man on the front of TUS 39. Like my brain doesn't see like the who on the left where he's putting the gloves and stuff. I don't see that because Iron Man himself is large enough where my eye really goes to him. Here, I feel like it's the same case. I recognize the clutter, but it doesn't really detract because there's such a nice, prominent, full figure Daredevil right there.
Yeah.
It's so sweet. Like,
I mean, nothing. We're picking nits when we're talking about Spider-Man.
Fair. Yeah.
But it's our show. That's what we can do that. Collecting Chaos, welcome. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you, man.
Nice. Thank you.
Way to show up in a rush. So that's it. That's all I have to say about this book because it's beautiful. And the only thing that happened apparently was a replacement of staples. As Phil pointed out, they must be period correct in order to get the conserved grade.
Yep.
One wonders if it was maybe a little bit of moisture with a little bit of rust and some well-intentioned person just didn't want the rusty staples. Clearly, we would have had a higher grade here had it not been for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's also an easy tell regarding the rust, because if you have rust in the paper, but you don't have rust on your staples, then.
But looking at this book, I don't think there's any rust on that book.
I think that it could be, and it could be that it was left off in the grader's notes. But I feel like generally I'm with Larry, where like you would normally see some indicator, and that's why it's like rusty paper, but the staple has no rust, and they're like period staple, but not the original because there's the patina's off, something's off.
Mm-hmm.
But really, this could go both play both sides.
There's just evidence of different. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
So recall, if those of you playing the game at home, the blue label was $11,000. What do we think this conserved one went for?
Can I ask one question? Where did this sell?
This sold at your old stomping grounds.
Yeah, I see.
I didn't want to assume because of the label, but it's suspiciously yes.
Yeah, this sold at auction at Metropolis in the last. We missed last week, so I think it was in the last 2 weeks. Maybe just a little bit longer window, but very recently on Metropolis.
A shout out, hey Vinny, if you're watching, which I know you're not watching, why didn't you hit me up and send me this book and have me add some equity to it? Hey, you're lost, or maybe if the client wants to give it to me,
send Vinny some love.
Say that anyway.
Vincent Zerzullo, friend of the channel, friend of mine, Phil's old employer, and
he's a good cook,
co-owner of Metropolis. Excellent cook. Yeah. Okay. What do we got for guesses here? You guys want to guess?
Boy, I'm gonna lean probably someplace between. I'm just gonna go out and say 7,500.
7,500. The Professor's in at $8,000. Morris is at 7,100. AG says 10,500. He's optimistic. Gorilla Monkey 3K is at 8,700. Rom is at 8,750. 7,500. You Pluck My Last Nerve. 6,500. Collecting Chaos. AG changes to 8.5. Vulu goes 71. Jeff Goodsell goes 52. Jason has the $4,501 lowball offer. Dylan is in at $4K. Rick Gomez says $9K. David, thank you. He says $6K on a super chat. That vote gets extra counts. And Travis also says $7,500. Where are you at, Phil? What do you think? 63 honey. That's the guess.
I hope that's the number that I had in my head before I went to go find the Sharpie, but I guess we'll find out.
Silver Spidey says 5,800. All the guesses are in? Everybody's in?
Yep, lay it up.
All right. Here we go.
Ooh,
What do you think of that?
nice.
I was close.
Good. It's not a yeah, Larry, you were very close.
Right?
Yeah, I would pay that for this book. That's a nice looking concert book.
Right?
Yeah, you got it. You gotta want the book too, because obviously there's no guarantee that you can get the staples out or that it stays an 8.5. Maybe it drops to an 8.0 once you do the staples. But nonetheless, that's a fairly strong price, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
2/3 for a book that has no conservation other than it doesn't have the staples it was born with.
There was a question earlier from Silver Spidey about CGC Green Label. Can you pull that one up?
Let's see if we can find that.
I'm just talking about replacing the staples.
Is this it?
Yeah, that's it. So the note states staple replaced. Does that mean that the staples are not period correct? Not necessarily. I don't know. Phil, you want to address that?
If it's
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
So I don't want to say that I own I'm a staple guru, or anything. Sure, but I'm a staple guru. If there's one thing I know very well with CGC, how they view staples, how staples work with comics. So if CGC gives a green label saying the staples are replaced, it's kind of what Larry said. It kind of depends. Generally speaking, if it's a green label, it would mean that there have to be period staples. Otherwise, you'd get a purple label for restored. But that might be up to CGC's discretion.
Well, if you're putting in brand, like shiny silver new staples, that's going to get you a purple label.
Yeah, but there is one caveat, and that is that you'll see oftentimes books that have foreign staples added where someone's just taken a stapler and stapled it. That's different from staples actually being reinserted into the staple holes. There is a distinction there. So.
Yeah. For me, I feel you probably do it too. When the opportunity presents itself, we harvest staples. I will get coverless books from 40s, 50s, 60s and harvest the staples, and because you're going to be working on books where the staple's not going to come out right, or it's just it's rusted, it's going to split, and it's just going to come apart. And at that point, I got a book that I just received, a Planet Comics book. It came with no staples. It's like, somebody's already tinkered with this one, so I have to source staples. So I keep a ready supply of staples.
Just
for that occasion.
One extension of what Larry just said is if you're familiar with working on books and versed with staples, you will understand and know that it is really one of the few real gray areas where you can replace with period, and for all intents and purposes, as CGC or anyone else is grading the book in front of them, there's literally no way to prove the staples wouldn't have been original to the book if they're there and they look correct. So that's in there lies a gray area. So what that is to say is if the staples are missing outright, or the staples have been replaced with incorrect ones, someone that knows what they're doing can always replace the staples there with period ones and make them look authentic. In my experience, I've never had an issue with it. It's just about getting the
No,
right match.
neither have I.
And that can be difficult because if you need it to have a little rust, you know, you got to have it. It has to look perfect. And it is, but it is something that you can do.
The one thing I was thinking about while we were sitting here talking about this is if one of the staples was replaced and it didn't match the other one, such as leg length or something like that, because we
Yeah.
know that the thicker books, that the 68-page books that had a longer staple in there to get through 16 wraps,
Yeah.
versus a 12 or an 8-page wrap, and so they're going to have longer legs. And if you put it in there, use one of those you put in the wrong staple, basically, because this is an 8-wrap book. It's a thin book, but if the legs are too long, it's gonna show.
Yeah.
I'm just speculating here, guys. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, it's hard for us to say. Travis says he thinks he can see the bottom staple looking a bit off too. I think AG, this is fine as long as they're not Archie books, because the professor will come after you if they are.
There is a reality though to
Classics Illustrated.
And these guys here, I'm sure, have done what I've done, and that is I've bought groups of coverless books on eBay for $1 a book, and
exactly
$1 for a pair of period staples, and I get some added paper that I can maybe use, you know, if I'm going to be doing some casting. Well worth the cost. It's something that's absolutely worthless to most other people, but to us, it's like that's what you want to get. So it's usually the funny books or the Disney books or the ones that are, you know, incomplete or tattered.
Today, the modern books are farmed out to printers, and back then they were all printed in-house. However, they're using the same, didn't matter who it was, the machine that they used was all built by the same place using the same brand of staples. So, you know, we joke about Classic Illustrated. You know, that's a great place. Yeah, there's nothing there. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Shelby collects them. I don't know if you guys know that.
I'm sorry, but that's my harvesting thing. That and old Western books.
Yeah.
Maybe some Woody Woodpecker or something like that. But yeah.
Speaking of the professor, man, I'm watching. I think I just got caught up with these gels that he's doing. We got to have.
Yeah, I've been watching that myself.
Oh, nice! I got to take a look at those.
Amazing. Yeah. And then the other person I wanted to shout out was Jason. Just finished that Startling Comics 23.
Yeah, I saw that.
Having held it in my hands, it is incredible to see what he did with that book. So,
yeah, I was looking at
doffing my cap.
That was a lot of work. That was very time consuming, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, but you know, he tackled some new challenges and persevered, and I think it looks amazing. And again, having held those loose sheets, the entire book was split down the center, literally.
Oh yeah.
The entire book, right? And I think you did a great job, Jason.
Really,
yeah. Kudos, Jason.
We should have you on soon for that, Professor. I have another idea for a show as well. There is a Tales of Suspense bound collection on. I think it's on eBay right now, and it goes from TOS 39 up to maybe 48 or something. And it's actually going for a pretty penny. Like, I think it's going for almost what the raw books would go for, despite them all being bound. And I was thinking it'd be great to talk about that auction and have you on to talk about binding comics, because I know that's something that you've done quite a bit of, Professor. So let me know what you think of that idea. Maybe we'll do that, or viewers, let us know what you think of that idea. Maybe we'll do it in an upcoming show. Without further ado, let's do some pickups. Who wants to go first?
I'll go, but not first.
Okay. All right, I'll go. All
right, Captain, we're going to throw you on full screen here.
Well, I've been sitting here, and I just wrapped up a book, actually, and it's sitting right in here in front of me. It was a quick book. It was you saw part of it if you went to my channel, but it's Batman 24. You know, I know Professor likes his Batmans, but this one was 100% split cover. I put a new spine on it, and the cover was glued to the first wrap. I'll put more out. You'll see that here in the coming days. But we're talking about pickups. You guys know what I'm into.
Yeah, baby.
All Planet Comics, and they're all in different states of repair. Some of them are pretty skanky looking. They're busted, spines, things like that. I picked up they're all project books. I mean, there's probably 20 there, and I'm just filling the inventory out. As for CGC pickups, I think I've shared those with you guys already. I got quite a few heritage things: Captain America, Marvel Mystery Comics, Human Torch, stuff like that. Just some of them I'm kind of looking at. Unfortunately, I put it away just like yesterday. I wasn't even thinking about pulling it out tonight. But there's some of them that need that could use some work. That I'm debating cracking open. I'll probably check with you guys and see what your opinions are on them, because there's some of them are a stretch. Just depends on the period of when it was graded and how it was cleaned. So, but other than that, that's for a quick show and tell. That's what I had.
Cool.
Okay,
I'm
Phil.
I'll go next, Phil, because
You'll go next?
I have a little bit of a method to my madness here. So
Okay.
I like to buy books that are restored, and I specifically look for books that I think might be something I could unrestore. When you're doing this, what you want to do is you want to find books that have slight. Now, we talked about this before. Sometimes it says slight and it's the entire spine, right? CGC's definition of slight is pretty inclusive. That said, you don't want to, if you're thinking about undoing restoration, you don't want moderate or extensive, for sure, right? Like that is
Generally speaking, yeah.
Restoration removal is pretty much just off the table in terms of
if you got a C5, forget it.
In terms of creating, equity. So just a rule of thumb, slight C1 is often where I hunt. So here's the first book I want to show.
I love seeing these because of you can imagine the potential, and what a sweet Spectre cover, Dr. Paul.
That's a good one.
So these more fun Spectre covers are tough. I mean, even 1.0s go for a couple grand. And that's just the sort of run-of-the-mill covers. You get to some of the classic covers, and you're talking 10, 15 grand for a 2.0, So I like to pick these up. This one I was especially interested in. A very small percentage of the population of these books was printed with this little line that says 15 cents in Canada. It's technically a variant. CGC doesn't always break them out. But if you look in the census, not all the books say 15 cents in Canada. It seems like they're less populous than the ones that just have a bar. I especially like these. Another thing of note here is this says restoration includes spine split, sealed to cover, cover reinforced with glue, fifth wrap married. And it states over here, married pages. So to me, glue removal, if I'm thinking about the hierarchy of restoration removal, the worst in my way of thinking is color touch. Yeah. The next most invasive is glue. And there are other things that'll get you a restored grade where, maybe they're a little less invasive. But glue tends to be something I could crack this book. I could look at it. If I decide I don't want a deal, I could just have it resubbed for not a lot of money. If I think it's a minimal amount of glue and I could either do a restoration removal and get like a 3.0 universal on this, I've created a lot of equity. Or maybe I think I want to excise all that glue and I want to do a full conservation on this book because it's so beautiful. But anyway, I have lots of options and I buy this book at a huge discount to Universal. And it has a lot of potential. So this is the kind of book I look for. And you'll see in the few books that I'm going to share, it tends to be kind of a pattern because I think this is where there's equity to be gained. And here is another Bernard Bailey, more fun.
Nice.
This is 66. The previous one was 62. Again,
The colors on these are so nice.
right?
These
Again,
are nice copies, aside from the potential for the restoration removal.
Thank you,
Nice.
Phil. Yes, I try to curate, good projects, right? So this one here is restoration includes small amount of color touch on cover, pieces added to cover, small amount of glue on cover. Still a slight C1. Now I've looked at this with blacklight. I know how much color touch is on here. And as I said, slight can seem to a layperson like extensive because you can have it all down the spine, for example. But this is another book that gives me lots of opportunities for potentially either restoration removal or full conservation. And I'm paying a fraction of universal prices for a book, and I have opportunity to create equity. Along those exact same lines, New York's
Nice.
World Fair.
Ah,
This is the 1940 World Fair. There's basically, these both have no number, but there's a 1939 and a 1940. They're
it's a big
both,
book.
oh yeah, this is a big monster. They're both firsts. And so this, if you're, as you know, Larry and I are kind of into the CGC registry. This happens to be the very first book that Superman and Batman ever appeared on the cover of together.
Oh,
And so because
Pretty
of
big
that,
deal.
yeah, because of that, this book is in the registry collection, DC's Golden Age Firsts. And that's a little
Okay.
bit tenuous in my book, but it's nevertheless, it's in the list. So this one is again a slight C1. Notice a pattern. And it says restoration includes small amount of color touch on cover. So I've looked at this again under blacklight, and I happen to know the reds have been touched up in a couple different places, and that's it. There's a fair amount of them. And so if I want to do a restoration removal on this, I probably need to scrape those areas clear, and the book's going to get uglier. But I don't think it's going to affect the technical grade much. I think it's going to stay about a 3.5, maybe a 3. And I've created a tremendous amount of equity because I'm buying this book at less than half of the universal 3.5 value. And then I'm able to turn it into a universal 3, for example.
unless
sorry,
there's
go
no
ahead, Larry.
surprises inside. Yeah.
Yeah.
agree.
I mean, the grader's notes said color touch on the cover. This particular book goes into my registry collection, gets me points there, fills out that collection, does a lot of cool things for me, presents pretty well. Again, if I wanted it to be universal, it would present a little less well. But cool book. Yeah, this is
it is a cool book.
It's a big fat monkey. This is look how thick that is.
I know it's a
Wow.
I don't know
magazine.
how many pages this is. This is 15
96.
cents. Yeah. I think is that all it is? Might even be more. I mean, look, it has like a book.
It says 96 on the cover. So
Oh, yeah.
what that is actually is like a 100-page book counting the wraps.
Yeah, it has the name of the book on the spine like a book. That's how thick it is.
Yeah, and if one thing about this, because I've got one similar to that, is how it's bound. It's
Mhm.
bound like an actual book.
Yeah.
They put the glue on the spine, and usually it crystallizes by the age that it is.
Mhm, mhm,
And
mhm.
when it crystallizes, it is a monster.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things I would not disassemble it. I still got one that's sitting in pieces so far.
No, I
It's
think
just
that's
such
a
a
book.
nightmare to work on.
I think it's just if you want universal, which I do think creates some value.
Oh yeah,
You scrape the ink
Yep.
off and you move on.
yeah. As long as you're not disassembling it, I think you're home free.
So I have two more. This one here was a recent pickup, and it's a big book for me. This book was featured in O'Brien, The Golden Age of Comic Books, which many of you know has been influential to me in my collecting.
That's a nice book.
Heck yeah.
Pep 1.
That's right.
Yep,
First
that's
Shield.
one.
We've talked about this book on the channel. The Shield here is the first patriotic superhero, the Golden Age. This drops almost a full year and a
Predates
half.
Cap 1, yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it predates Cap 1 by a year and a half. Pep is, of course, the title. It's an anthology. It's the title in which we get one Archie Andrews in issue number 22. I've just always loved this cover. Again, it's featured in O'Brien, and an opportunity came up to get this beautiful presenting copy for not crazy money. So, especially for such a huge key. So again, slight C1. Restoration includes small amount of glue on cover, spine split sealed to cover. So again, I think my options here are, if we just excise the glue and we put this back in, even if it's a 2 universal, I think we've created equity.
I don't
And
think that's going to be a 2. I think it'll be more.
And if we want to get
Yeah.
if we want to get a full conserved grade, I think we have lots of room, a lot
Got
of work.
options here.
Yeah, a lot
Got
more work,
options.
but a lot of room for creating equity with this book. So
What a sweet book.
this is this is probably my best pickup of the year. I have one big book that I've been working on for months now. I've actually got it on a payment plan, and I'm going to get it around Christmas time. I kind of planned that out that way. So that'll be a bigger book than this one, but
Hey, Merry Christmas to me.
yeah, but still, that's a big book for me and something I was really happy to put in the collection. And I think, again, I have opportunities for creating equity in the future. The last one I want to show is a little bit of a departure, but it's a real, like, it's very obvious opportunity. So what is this? Star Spangled Comics #1. This is the first appearance of the Star Spangled Kid, Stripesy, and Captain X. Funny enough, it's also the first appearance of the Tarantula, who somehow gets first billing from CGC. Like, it's first appearance of Paste Pot Pete and, some other guy with a cape. Anyway, I would have thought that the Star Spangled Kid is the front runner, but regardless, this is not restored, as you can see, but it's in this giant magazine holder. It's clearly never been cleaned and pressed. And the reason it's in this magazine holder is because it has this obscene spine roll, which you can see right here. That's why they did it. It's also dirty, really dirty, but huge opportunity here. I got this for not a lot of money because it's ugly and no one wants to deal with this big magazine holder. For those of you for scale, give me just a second.
It is crazy. Those holders are almost like the purple label. The book might as well have a purple label.
Yeah, it just looks silly in the big
The
holder.
way
like
people
that.
view it, they're just like,
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
For scale, right? And so they're awkward to store. They're ugly. And like I said, the book itself, it's a beautiful book. It's very clean in terms of, like, it's structurally clean. I guess I shouldn't use the word clean. Structurally sound, but dirty. So huge opportunities here. So this is one where I'm buying this at a discount to what I think this book is worth. I'm going to crack it. I'm going to sub it. And I'm going to clean it and press it. And I'm just going to leave this universal. And I think there's a lot of equity. Another thing about this is, because I am quite focused in my collection these days, it belongs in the registry collection, DC Golden Age firsts, right? Because obviously it's got a bunch of firsts. And it actually is a fair number of points in that collection. So anyway, those are my pickups. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully it helps you think about potential pickups for conservation. And
I actively look for books, like you said, in the purple label, the C1, C2. But anything with a spine roll, especially a horrible spine roll, that's like, yeah, I love that stuff because I know I can fix that spine roll.
Yeah. I think there's now sometimes you can find that there's a bunch of people and they'll actually bid it up and just pay way too much for the book because there's a bunch of people like us that have a press, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be careful.
I've run into that. Yes.
Yeah. It's not guaranteed if you find one of these books in auction, but it's an opportunity, right? So
yeah.
Phil, what do you got to show us, man?
All right. Well, there's a couple of things in the season, but I'll just say some fun stuff with Phil. I'll do a few things. So here's
Show
one
and tell
thing.
time.
I'm doing an assessment. The other copies I can't really show so much. I guess I could show one of them, but I got 3 copies of this book. Hey.
What?
So I'm doing a little conservation project
Wow.
with this. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
There it is. The origin, the beefed up origin.
So, oh wait, what's this over here?
What a beautiful book.
Oh, is this?
What's this?
Oh my God! No, look, it's another copy. Oh, hey. There's a little bit of the cover still left on this one, but most of it's gone.
That's going to be a lot of
oh.
leaf casting for that cover.
Wait,
It's a big leaf cast. That's a big
this
ass.
over here? What's this? Oh my God! Is this? It's another copy. Oh my gosh!
goodness.
All right, I'm gonna put this back because this one's already done.
Now, those all come from the same client?
So yeah, this was a pretty cool project where after my assessment, we can make 2 complete copies out of those 3 copies, which is
So you're going to marry it.
kind of cool. Yeah, gonna take some parts from one and put them into the other 2 and make 2 conserved complete copies, which pretty fun.
Very nice.
The other few show and tells I'll show. So here's a fun book that I bought over 6 years ago. I just checked my eBay email that I got. Actually, this book cost me a whopping $54.98 with shipping.
Okay.
$54.98 for this
Oh,
delicious
Yeah. yeah.
EC
Yep.
book.
Oh,
And really, the only issue with it is the split spine. So this is.
Yeah,
I remember when I was
on it.
working on books, this one needs a few pieces of paper along. This is my perfect leaf casting candidate. I can't wait to get to this one soon. Oh, what do we got over here? I'll end on the coolest thing, but I'll show these too. So it's kind of spooky, but when I was at New York Comic Con, I have been buying pages from Charlie Adlar's his art rep for some years, and I got one Negan page here that I'm going to make an overlay for the word balloons, because the dialogue in this is why no one's bought this yet, because the art's cool, but once I put the word balloons in the context, it'll be that's a great Negan page. Like, that's why I got
cool.
it.
mm.
And to that point, if you know the character and you watch the show, this is literally the last page, the last time he uses his bat, Lucille, because she breaks in the next page. And this was just sitting for sale. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy this and put the word balloons and frame it up on my wall with my other pages. And I love Negan.
Cool.
Badass page.
That is sweet.
And then I'll end on this. It's not a comic book, but for a little show and tell history, probably one of my favorite things I have in my collection. It's an original Beazle Jack-o'-lantern. It was created and released in 1930 and 1931.
Ooh.
Whoa.
So this is almost 100 years old. It's double-sided,
cool.
so it's the same image on the other side, and it has tissue paper, folded tissue paper joining both pieces. So this thing is, you can kind of see it in the corner there. It's incredibly delicate. These are often found where it's only one side. Some of the inner supports are usually missing. I have them over on the side there, but it's such a piece of early, now almost antique Halloween, and the oranges are still pretty nice. It's just such a cool. It's the graphics are so period.
Yeah,
I mean,
awesome.
1930, 1931. This is before comic books. Really. So
That's
I really
great
like this a lot.
one.
Hey, thanks, Dad.
Very
One of my favorite
timely.
pieces.
Beautiful. Thanks for sharing that.
That
Well,
That's cool.
hopefully y'all enjoyed that. I enjoyed that.
That's nice.
Let us know what you think. Maybe we could add it as a regular, irregular kind of feature where maybe every few months, once a quarter or something, we do pickups. I suspect we'll all continue buying them, and maybe some folks in the chat can get involved, and maybe somebody has pickups they want to come on the show and share. we're open to input from you, all the viewers.
Yeah.
What else?
We're nothing without you. We're, really, thank you so much to all the
Yeah,
people watching this
true.
live or watching it later, the however many hundreds or maybe, I don't know what the number is in total of people that have watched these videos, but holy crap, we're just a couple of guys talking about comics and you care enough to watch us. It's crazy.
There's
crazy.
interest.
So thank you. We appreciate it because we just love talking comics and talking conservation and, all the things closely associated with that. So
we would hang
always
out
love
and have this conversation
being with you
ourselves
guys.
without you, but it's a
Yeah.
lot more fun with you.
Give us a thumbs up too. If you're one of those people that thinks about it, but you don't do it, do it. Just click
Yeah, we'll
that
take a
thumbs
thumbs
We
up.
appreciate
Always
it.
like thumbs up.
Let's wrap up. Let's thank again Salesboy Comics, You Pluck My Last Nerve,
Yeah,
and
thank
John
you, guys.
Carter. They sponsored
Yeah.
this episode, and we have 4
Thank you,
sponsors
Jason.
for next episode. You Pluck My Last Nerve is coming back for more abuse, collecting chaos. I am Starman, and Jason, the Archivist Adrift. Really
Thanks, guys.
appreciate everybody joining us. Appreciate all the super chatters and all of the commentary and all of the views later. Appreciate all of you. And I appreciate you two fellas. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Can you believe I'm going to see you both in less than 2 weeks?
I know it's coming up
crazy.
fast.
Crazy.
Wow. 3 weeks? Less than 3. Just under 3.
Something like
Yeah. We're going to have a lot of fun at Collector Summit in Dallas. And we'll have to see if we can do something fun and special from there. And with that, I will say until next time, take care of one another.
All right. See you later, everybody.